Alright, chat, welcome back from that ad break. The ad break that we run at the start of every stream to prevent all the newcomers from being exposed to horrible pre-roll ads at the beginning of the broadcast. So, apologies for that. Thank you for helping your fellow viewers come in ad-free. Don't blame me, blame Twitch. So, we'll be going in just a second here. Yep, there we are. We just did some last second stuff, figured out. Okay, cool. We are in. And we should be started pretty much now. Apologies for any choppy frame rate. This is coming straight from my phone wirelessly connected to my computer through Smart Connect. But yeah, welcome into the match, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, they took tolerance? That's annoying. Hate tolerance, all my homies hate tolerance. If tolerance has one hater, it's me. If tolerance has no haters, I'm dead. But I understand how punctuality is difficult, especially for a match that's just for fun. So there's that. In the meantime, I guess we can go over the pre-game discussion. This is the match between Vigne Gaming, NALATAM, which is a bunch of jargon for North America and Latin America, and Undefined. The manager for Undefined, DKE, actually runs the entire league. So that's exciting. I finally get to see DKE in action in an actual match. Haven't seen that in a hot second, so that's gonna be nice. God love Melody though, hell yeah. Melody, goated referee, by the way. Shout out. Melody, that's why you're there. It's your job to stop him from those shenanigans. Yeah, DKE is a fun person to be around. But I understand why they needed a normal person to actually run the finances and all the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's me. So I guess a little bit of pre-game discussion. Real. You're so real for that. But yeah, a little bit of pre-game discussion for our viewers at home, maybe the VOD watchers. Hi, VOD watchers. How's it going? Hope you enjoy the analysis of today's match. But a little bit of background about your casters and your reffing team. So, I go by Kakatilia online. I am one of the head admins and co-owners of NSL. I've been there since the very beginning. Took a few breaks in the middle, and was responsible for relaunching NSL in Season 11. I currently run most of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I occasionally broadcast matches, and I wrote the rulebook and all that jazz. I'm very busy IRL, so I can't do much of the front-facing work these days, but I'm getting better at it. As your referee today, you have Melody. Melody is a relatively new addition to the admin team, but has been wonderful so far. Bestie. No. No. Yeah, Melody's in chat. Shout out to that. And then your two teams, Undefined. Undefined has been here since the very beginning as well. The manager of Undefined actually founded the league in the very beginning. DKE, love that man. And they have been a force. I don't think they've won anything big in NSL so far, but they made it to the quarterfinal, so that's something. Maybe this time they'll actually walk out of here with a trophy. They're well on their way to doing so. And in fact, everyone here is top 8, so yeah. And then we also have VWG, Vigne Gaming, relatively new addition to NSL's lineup of teams. I've never seen them before Season 11. I'm assuming that they compete in other cups and have been for quite a while based on their goated roster. but I don't know. What I do know is that we are currently in the top 8 of the league. So, let's see if I can pull up real quick the challenge bracket. Please. I just want to quickly show off the bracket here. Yep, okay, cool. So this is the bracket for today. As you can see, this is last week's matchup. We had Atlas Esports beating Team Pirates 3-2, and then got defeated by Wii Sports in the quarterfinal, 3-1. Wii Sports going straight to the quarterfinal from group stage due to their first place placement. And so now Wii Sports is comfortably in the semifinal. Enosis Esports and Vigne North America clashed in round 1, where Vigne won 3-2, and is facing off against Undefined today for the coveted last remaining spot in the semifinals. Also last week we had No Mercy beating Crispy Clean 3-1, and then beating Grox again 3-0. No Mercy having a wonderful run through playoffs thus far. And then finally Stormbreaker TCF beating Stormbreaker 3-1. Intra-org matches are always fun in playoff brackets. Stormbreaker TCF also danced over Vigne's EMEA with a free win because EMEA did not show up to the match, resulting in a DQ for Vigne EMEA. And now they're up against No Mercy in the semifinal. One thing of note is that all the teams that qualify for the semifinals will receive automatically an invitation to compete in the playoffs of NSL Season 12, free of charge, no entry fee. So, it's a big match today. So even if the 4 teams in the semifinals don't win a trophy, they still walk away with an incredible opportunity to play again. And so Undefined and Vigne really have to fight it out to see who gets that prize. Okay? So, oh yeah, thank you for updating the bracket, by the way. I appreciate it. Where's your payment? We've been trying for a long time to try and get admins to be paid, but sadly, we just don't have the funding for it at all. So, eventually, once we do the sponsorship deal, it should hopefully happen. Fingers crossed. We do have a couple of sponsors being talked with right now, but I can't give any information about that because it's still very much a work in progress. Your message at the real. Yeah, sorry. If you say anything in clan chat, you will be exposed to the whole wide world, and that is my bad. So, shout out to that. Just waiting a couple more minutes here for tolerance to be over, and then we can get into the gameplay. So for those of you VOD watchers or those that are not necessarily tuned in to NSO, I'm just going to verbally give you the matchup for today. Or not the matchup, the format for today. I really should make an infographic for that. Remind me, I'll get on that for the next stream. The format is set 1 is going to be a 2v2 best of 3 with 1 global card ban per team. Set 2 will be a 3v3 King of the Hill, no card bans, free for all. Set 3 will be a 1v1 CRL style duel set. Set 4 will be a 3v3 best of 1 duel set. And set 5, the tiebreaker set, will be a 1v1 best of 5 with 1 global card ban per team. Currently, we have Evo, Baby Dragon, and Vines being globally banned for the entire rest of this in-game season here. We have recently unbanned Evo Furnace, so for the first time in NSL history, this week we are going to maybe see some Evo Furnace gameplay. How exciting. Also, shout out to all the people that are now going to use Evo Furnace as their card ban in these sets. Yeah, so maybe if we just want to remind everyone in clan chat that Evo, Baby Dragon, and Vines are globally banned, that would be pretty chill. I know how I memorized the format. I made the format. That's how I memorized it. I made it. I had to explain in detail what each set means in the rulebook. Oh, also shout out to the bottom corner of my computer saying hurricane update. Oh yeah. I forgot. A hurricane is heading directly for Hawaii right now, right where I live. Shout out to that. So, leave a like and a follow for Hurricane Kiko. Hi, roommate. Okay, here we go. Here's the lineup for 2v2. Looks like Undefined is going for Sayoni and Lucario. And we are just waiting for... Oh my god. Why are you shouting me out, calling me out in front of clan chat? LOL. Yeah, now we're just waiting for Vigne's lineup here. Give them 2 minutes for that. If they don't give a lineup soon... Meet Mert. You know? Like, where is Vigne? Yeah, if Vigne doesn't send their lineup within like the first 5 minutes of the match, they will be 5 minutes late and will automatically lose set 1. So, now we get to do our favorite part of streaming NSL matches, which is turn it into waiting simulator. As if I didn't do that enough today for the bus. Because earlier today I decided to go on a stupid mental health walk and go all the way down to the south shore of Oahu. Because that's where I'm living right now for university. I'm in grad school now, so I get to treat every weekend like a Hawaiian vacation. It's so fun. I got to walk all the way down through Waikiki and Ward. Which, if you know where that is, it's a beautiful beach. Crawling with tourists, though. Absolutely crawling with tourists. The bus was so crowded. Okay, good. Vigne finally sent their lineup here. Inferno and Miguel for Vigne Warriors Gaming. VWG for short. I don't know if I should pronounce it Vigne, Vigne... Okay, as expected, looks like Undefined will be banning Furnace. Because now that it's available for use, everyone's gonna ban it. What is VWG's ban gonna be, I wonder? A lot of popular 2v2 bans include stuff like Tornado, Giant Skeleton, Lava Hound. Sometimes Firecracker gets banned. Furnace is a new one. Though we've never seen Furnace in semi-pro, at least not on this stream before, so it's gonna be interesting. Also, if anybody knows of any teams or leagues that needs an additional streamer, I'm open to having that conversation and lending my services here. So hit me up. Yeah, VWG doesn't get their ban soon. They're gonna forfeit their ban. Like, come on, guys. Streaming services like this. Casting. Yes, baby... Evo Baby Dragon. Regular Baby Dragon is fine, and Vines are banned by the league. If they would bother to read the announcements, please read. I know I didn't pin in that one, and I probably should have. That's my mistake. Next time I will. Oh boy. But yeah, we are ready to get started with this 2v2 set here. At any moment, we're going to get into some actual gameplay here. So it looks like for this first set, Undefined will be True Red and VWG will be True Blue, which means VWG will be sending all the requests for this first set and will be at the bottom of your screen. So yeah, now VWG has about 2 minutes to request the first match of the day and get this whole thing underway. I'm being kept alive by vending machine lemonade at the moment. Ah! The fact that my university apartment has vending machines is going to be the death of my bank account. I do a sip. Here you go, bud. Take it. Take it. Oh shit, we're in. I lost focus. I forgot I had that Nightbot prompt set up. That was from 2 years ago. I should really change that. You don't need to donate to those anymore. The fire has happened like 2 years ago. But anyway, in we go with the first match. Inferno and Miguel for VWG on the bottom of your screen. Lucario and Sayoni for Undefined at the top of your screen. Bands are Furnace and I already forgot the other one. But here we go. So it looks like at the beginning of this match, VWG is running some sort of Meta Knight Phoenix deck combo here. Furnace and P.E.K.K.A. Thank you. Yeah, I lose focus too easily. I gotta fix myself. Pay attention. Alright, but here we go. So far, no real interactions have happened. Just minor chip damage on both sides. No clear advantage either way. It's interesting to see the different types of decks we're using. No win conditions have come out yet, but we can already expect to see either some Graveyard or Balloon coming from Undefined here. Evo Inferno Dragon is a decent pick and a pretty good counter against VWD's strategy of Mega Knight spam, it looks like. Gonna be interesting to see how this match goes. It looks like Undefined has a pretty good matchup here. Yeah, Melody, that's because you gave the format. Hello. Alright, going into double elixir, no clear advantage either way, anyone's game at the moment. That was a very good E-Spirit to stop the Golden Knight from dashing and wasting that one elixir. Here comes a Graveyard for Undefined. The Diddy Cage is going to do a very good job dealing with that Mega Knight here. As we have a very scary... Oh, that is a great use of the Evo Wizard's shield knockback to prevent that Ram Rider from getting the double damage on the tower. But nonetheless, VWG gets huge damage on that push on the left-hand side. But here comes another Graveyard. Going to be defended by that E-Spirit and that Phoenix, only getting a few RNG hits. Here comes a second Graveyard for Undefined, and a Freeze. And a Goblin Curse. Oh my word, so much is happening. Goblin Curse does not have damage amplification anymore, so the effect of that curse was limited. However, that Freeze, as well as all the offensive spells and stuff, allowed that second Graveyard, unexpected second Graveyard, to get a lot of damage on the right-hand tower, putting Undefined in a clear advantage going into double elixir overtime. Here comes an offensive Lightning, trying to get that Ram Mega Knight push to come through, and the Ram Rider connects on the left. A second Ram Rider connects on the left, and those two pushes back-to-back gives VWG the first win of this match. Holy, what a close finish. Sorry for yelling, I'm sure my roommate does not appreciate this, but oh my god. That was a hell of a Hearst game. Alright, and we are going into game 2 in this first set. This is going to be set point for VWG. If VWG wins this set, they win. If VWG wins this game, they win the first set. Is my bitrate dying on me? Hello? I know university Wi-Fi can be shoddy at times, but god damn! Alright, here we go. VWG has... sir? Wrong one. Undefined needs to accept, not request. So these undefined people who sent the request need to back off. There we go. Good job. It's VWG's job to request. Me take over as ref? Okay. Alright, and that's why we have backup admins. Woot. BWG is in the match. Now we're just waiting for Undefined to accept. Looks like I gotta get the scratch paper out after all. I always like to have a piece of scratch paper with me while I'm reffing, so I can write down player names, especially for King of the Hill. It's a good thing to have, so you can keep track of everything, keep track of scores. It's just easier that way. Alright, thank you for lurking. Alright, in comes Sayoni and Lucario. Alright, so this is game 2 for the 2v2 set. We have VWG, represented by Inferno and Miguel, at the bottom of your screen, True Blue, and Sayoni and Lucario for Undefined, True Red, at the top of your screen. Here we have an Ice Spirit coming down for Cycle, Skeletons for Cycle. What's interesting to note is that Undefined is using a Dagger Duchess Tower Troop. Pretty unorthodox for 2v2, especially since Dagger Duchess got nerf after nerf after nerf. This also puts him at an inherent HP disadvantage right out the gate, but it allows him to clear off these small, cycly troops with ease. Okay, beautiful King activation for Undefined off that freaking Firecracker. Ooh, and now we have Spirit Empress coming in the right-hand lane for VWG. Spirit Empress is a scary card to see in 2v2. It can be so dominant, quickly taking over any lane if you're not careful. Looks like the Spirit Empress is going to take out VWG's Firecracker, and it looks like Undefined is going to push that advantage. A second Firecracker being necessary. Because of the snowball and the arrows, that Spirit Empress actually gets one hit on that tower, giving a major advantage to Undefined in this first half of the match. Right-hand tower is at half health, no significant damage on any other tower. Minions just to cycle them. Spirit Empress to defend. Meta Knight. So it looks like Meta Knight Ram Rider is the way we're playing it today. Goblin Drill in the other lane does not pull the Ram Rider. Don't think it was meant to. Dagger Duchess does a great job of defending that Spirit Empress. Ice Spirit, Tesla, Skeletons all trying to defend that Ram Rider. Huge negative elixir trade coming out for that. Spirit Empress for Undefined now. 2 poisons on VWG trying to take that thing out. On with that Drill does a pretty good job of it. Evo Snowball just to keep those offensive troops into the poison as long as possible. Arrows, everything does not stop the Evo Ice Spirit from connecting on that Ram Rider, rendering it utterly useless in this push. 2 Mighty Miners needed to destroy that Mega Knight. Another Ram Rider coming down the right-hand lane as VWG's tower goes down to 596 after that lightning, putting Undefined in a very clear advantage going into double elixir overtime. However, we saw this in the last game and we know how that turned out. All it takes is one good push from either side to end it. Another Meta Knight Spirit Empress push. Seems to be the fan favorite this time around. Another Drill. And we stopped by another Meta Knight for a negative elixir trade. Both teams are pretty even on available elixir at the moment. Offensive poison. And that's enough. Sayoni and Lucario take it for Undefined, bringing the set down to 1-1. It is now anyone's set. Oh yeah, I'm reffing. I should do that. Alright, and we're giving him 2 minutes to request for game number 3. Alright. So far, a very close matchup between two very goated teams. This game could go either way, and this is a single elimination game. This is in fact the last single elimination match of the season. Reason being is in the semifinals, actually no, yeah, the semifinals is also single elimination in it. No, it's not. Because the loser of the semifinals goes to the bronze match. So I was right. So yes, once again, VWG at the bottom of your screen, represented by Magellan Inferno, and Sounding Lucario representing Undefined at the top of your screen. This is the last game of the 2v2 set. And it looks like immediately Undefined is going for the Lava Miner strategy. Very popular in NSL 2v2 sets. Meanwhile, it looks like VWG is going for the more recently popular Mega Knight Ram Rider deck for 2v2. So it looks like we are starting to see a 2v2 meta forming here. Here comes the Miner. This is about to be a scary push. Except the arrows do a very good job. Undefined actually needed to put out a Drowned Spirit Empress. Miner does not keep pulling that Phoenix, allowing huge damage on that left-hand tower. A major blunder. Oh, but here comes a Lumberjack Guards push on the right-hand side out of nowhere. Undefined had no elixir to handle that. Holy. Huge damage for VWG. Undefined now going in for a Hail Mary lava push. Gonna go all in. Because if they don't get a 3-crown here, they're cooked. Alright, other princess went down. So no more pancakes in this arena. So now for Undefined, it's 3-crown or bust. A very unfortunate matchup in this game. But also a few defensive mistakes on Undefined's part. Yep, a very good arrows by VWG. And now we have a fully charged Skeleton Chain being easily stopped by Mega Knight. Yep. Undefined has a lot of catching up to do, but they're not giving up. That's important. In pro games, we always want to see these teams playing through until the very end, no matter what. Because who knows, maybe VWG could muck it up in the last 30 seconds of the match. It's definitely happened before. This is semi-pro. Okay, here comes the Evo Inferno. If anything can pull this game around, it's that. But it goes down too quickly to the furnaces, as it appears that Undefined has no chance to recover. And this 2v2 set will go to VWG for set 1. Alright. Now I do the reffing thing. Alright, yeah, so it looks like Undefined is going for Totori, Larry, and Shinobi. Looks like BWG is going for Fawn, going for Andre, and going for Rocket. Alright. Game 1. Totori versus Fawn. And yeah, as a good ref, I will announce the names of each player. That's why I have the scratch paper for good reffing. I love doing this. Alright, and while we're waiting for this match to get started, we're just going to run a quick 30-second ad break to keep those pre-rolls off for you guys. Thank you so much for your understanding. Alright, now Fawn is 2 minutes to accept. Welcome back from the ad, y'all. We do these ads just to keep the pre-rolls from running. Alright, this is game 1 of the 3 vs 3 King of the Hill set. You have Totori for Undefined at the bottom of your screen, and we have Fawn for VWG at the top of your screen. So it looks like immediately Fawn appears to be running some sort of Evo Witch deck. I'm thinking Graveyard. Meanwhile, it looks like Totori's running a Wallbreaker Evo Goblin Barrel Logbait deck. So Logbait versus Cringe Splash Yard is the way I'm going to name that. Ooh, misplayed the Berserker. Full connection from those Wallbreakers for Totori. And as that lines up to be a critical error on Fawn's part. And then here comes the Evo Witch. Not enough Elixir for a Graveyard, so Valkyrie's going to do a good job of taking that out. But the Valkyrie gets stalled down the half health in the process. Ice Wizard will finish it off. Dark Goblin to counter that Ice Wizard, but the Valkyrie does go down. Split lane pressure from Totori, forcing out that Goblin Hut for Fawn. Fawn hitting them with a good game, recognizing that their mistake from earlier is causing some issues for them regarding that Berserker. Goblin Gang for Totori, so very much a classic 2025 Logbait. Another Princess, he has so many Logbait cards. And then for an expensive deck that is Evo Witch Graveyard, it's going to be really hard to keep up with that onslaught of constant chip damage, constant bait. It's going to be very hard matchup-wise for Fawn to keep up here, as Fawn takes a full damage connection from those wall breakers, resulting in the tower going down, putting Totori in a very clear advantage going into double Elixir time. However, that full health Evo Knight is not going to be picked up by that Dark Goblin, giving the perfect opportunity for a Graveyard here. But it looks like Fawn doesn't go for the Graveyard in the lane with the Evo Knight, instead opting for the left-hand lane, where it's going to be easily dispatched by that Evo Valkyrie, getting only a few RNG hits from those skeletons that spawn right next to the tower. Not too much else, but again, I want to reiterate, this is a really, really, really difficult matchup for Fawn. Very good analysis from Totori going into this game here, as it looks like Fawn will be eliminated here, and Totori will go on to face off against Andre for the second game of King of the Hill. And just like that, Kotori knocks out Fawn in King of the Hill, giving the first point to Undefined. Alright. Game 2. Yeah, I'm reffing as well as streaming, so pardon my typing. I can't spell. Spelling is hard, okay? So yeah, now we just wait about 2 minutes for Kotori to request the second game. Also, yes, as a smart referee, I have the scratch paper, so I can keep track of everything. I'm using a dead pen, though. That's not helping at all. New pen alert. Shout out new pen. I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love my stationery, okay? I'm a bit of a stationery nerd, as a matter of fact. Pen and paper is my go-to note-taking strategy. Okay. I think this is like the third time in a row I've had to run a match while casting it. All due to various emergencies on the part of the admins beyond their control, so I hold no ill will. Damn, that's the end of my vending machine lemonade. I'm sad now. But I'm not going to chuck away the plastic bottle. I can take that to a recycling place for my 5 cents back. Because Hawaii does this plastic bottle deposit thing where you have to pay an additional 5 cents for any canned or bottled beverage that you get back if you take it to an actual recycling center. But alas, we're in a game now, so enough of the real life talk. This is game 2 of the King of the Hill set in this quarterfinal match between Undefined and Vigne Gaming, North America. Kotori for Undefined is at the bottom of your screen, True Blue for this set, and it looks like we have Andre for VWG at the top of your screen. Looks like Kotori is running a Goblin Drill Fireball Bait deck, or even a Log Bait deck with the Evo Snowball, very popular among pros these days. And Andre's playing a more expensive Spirit Empress deck here. Drill as well, so Drill versus Drill. This will be an interesting matchup. Even better, Drill Snowball versus Drill Snowball. This Spirit Empress will be taken out by the tower. That bomber was necessary, otherwise that Spirit Empress would have connected. Very unfortunate. Use of Elixir there. And Andre is applying some really good pressure on that left-hand side here, requiring that Fire Spirit to try to take out those goblins. But the Snowball, oh my gosh, yeah, the tower locked onto the wrong thing, and that goblin got one stab on the tower. Andre still at a bit of a disadvantage here. Kotori still winning by about 70 HP or so. Not much at all. Very insignificant. If both players play perfectly, it's going to go down to maybe 1 or 2 goblin stabs in tiebreaker. Another big push for Kotori on the right-hand side. Looks like Kotori is not using Spirit Empress, so... And it looks like they're not using very many air counters at all, besides Tesla and a bunch of spirits, so they're going to have a very hard time in Double Elixir when the Spirit Empresses start coming out in large quantities. So we're going to see how Kotori handles that. Andre now winning by about 10 HP, so still not much at all, but every HP counts when you're in a mirror matchup like this. Another drill coming out for Kotori. Rocket this time to take out that Spirit Empress. Snowball to push those defensive goblins away. A defensive snowball being mandated. But that rocket did a lot of damage, as did those couple of stabs that drill got, bringing the left-hand tower for Andre down to 2015. That was a good year, I think. And then here comes another drill. And this time the bomber needs to be distracted by the Fire Spirit, or else it would have allowed that drill to get huge damage. Couple of stabs on that tower from the drill, bringing the left-hand tower for Andre down to 1695. putting Totori in a very comfortable lead going into double elixir overtime here. Next tower wins, but I have a feeling it'll go all the way to tiebreaker. Just based on the nature of this matchup here. Alright, another Berserker coming down. And the drill gets on the tower. Bomber comes out for defense. Snowball does not hit the bomber. Bomber survives. The offensive bomb for Totori does splash on that tower, though, dealing a little bit more chip damage. Again, every hit point counts, so that's important. Totori is just doing better in these individual interactions than Andre in this match, and those small interactions are adding up big time to a huge HP advantage going into the final minute. However, having the Spirit Empress gives you a huge advantage in double and triple here. Another rocket coming down just for damage. However, that drill seems to be defended just fine, requiring skeletons and that Fire Spirit to come out. Troops that could have been used against that drill. Here comes a poison and a snowball. Evo Snowball has to come out defensively, but Andre is starting to get some of those interactions right, and is starting to claw back some of that tower damage. However, Totori having a rocket means that they're going to do better here, as that tower on the left is almost in rocket range. I think now it is, if not slightly big. Yeah, no, it's in rocket range, and Totori takes game number 2, knocking out Andre and giving Undefined a second point in King of the Hill. Holy mackerel. And now I'm going to do my ref thing real quick. Game 3, Totori versus Rocket. No. So now the question, chat, is can Totori sweep this King of the Hill set for Undefined and put them back on the scoreboard? That is a question that we will get the answer to shortly. And Totori sends that message requesting the match. Alright, we're in. This is game 3 of the 3 vs 3 King of the Hill set. Set point for Undefined, Totori for Undefined at the bottom of your screen, Rocket for VWG at the top of your screen here. Two very doted teams. Totori has been sweeping the set so far, as we finally see our first Evo Furnace of live-streamed NSL history here. Finally unbanned. And it looks like, oh boy. Is this the day we start seeing the super toxic metas? Monk is a very good counter to Furnace here. Alright, yep, this is the deck. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Vines are currently globally banned, which is why we're seeing the Goblin Curse variant here. As Totori's tower goes down in record time to Rocket. Totori now retaliating with a Royal Giant, gonna be countered by that Prince if nothing else happens here. But not before getting a few shots on that tower, dealing some decent damage on the right-hand side. But being down a full tower in the first minute of the match, not a good feeling at all. If Totori wants to complete the sweep, they gotta come back in a big way here. And they will have that opportunity in double elixir, but they have to reconcile with the Evo Goblin Giant and the Evo Furnace. Some good news for Totori, though, is that Evo Goblin Giant just got nerfed to the ground, pretty much, putting the Goblin spawn interval at over 2 seconds. Lightning having to come out to kill that Furnace. Goblin Machine also getting caught in the crossfire there, losing about half its HP right out the gate. Here comes that Evo Goblin Giant in the pocket, what we were all afraid of. Again, using that Evo Wizard explosion very well. Good play by Kotori here. Now Kotori needs to take that Evo Wizard and make a huge counter push if they want to have a chance here. Evo, uh-oh. Luckily, the Royal Giant is Evo, so it's going to take out those... Ooh, I bet Kotori really wanted that RG to get one more hit, but it just doesn't. Oh, and the E-Spirit doesn't even hit the Prince. That's very unfortunate for Kotori. Kotori needs to take that tower in 30 seconds or less. E-Spirit going to be doing a good job finishing off that Prince and those minions. Minion just hits one chip hit on the tower. If Kotori can take that one last tower, he's good. RG has a huge advantage in the pocket. But it looks like Kotori is going to try and lightning that tower in the last second here. Probably waiting for a furnace or something. Doesn't lightning the tower at all. I guess he expected the monk to reflect more damage? I'm very confused by that last play, not gonna lie to you. As VWG takes their point in this set. Yeah. This is game 4, Larry versus Rocket. Rocket essentially needs to reverse sweep here if he wants to put VWG ahead here. Alright, game 4 of the 3v3 King of the Hill set. Larry on the bottom of your screen for Undefined Esports, and Rocket at the top of your screen for VWG. Here comes that Berserker for Rocket. Rocket is now running a Evo Skelly Barrel something or other. Log bait. Which, you know, has a bit of an advantage over Cannoneer. So Larry's immediately in a bit of trouble, just based on the Tower Troop matchup. Yeah, Larry's running a very heavy deck with Lava Hound. Gonna have a rough time. That Diddy Cage to kill the cannon cart. Much needed. And it looks like that Goblin Cage will be doing a good job of cleaning up those skeletons. Rocket is ahead on Elixir at the moment. Yeah, so it appears that both teams are running Cannoneer. Berserker going to be huge for that Spirit Empress, as those Lava Pups do not take the Cannoneer fire, allowing that Spirit Empress to be dispatched quite easily. But not before Larry does about 600 damage to that tower. Valkyrie comes down a bit late. Mortar locked onto that tower. That's going to be a huge mistake for Larry with that timing. That mortar's going to do a lot of damage, and now Rocket's going to do everything in his power to keep that mortar locked on. Lightning has to come out. That's really bad for Larry here. Now Larry's just going to be playing catch-up Elixir-wise now. Arrows have to come out. Larry is very vulnerable at the moment. How far can Rocket push this advantage? Drowned Empress has to come out now to pull that mortar fire. As Larry is trying desperately just to get back on track here. Cage now coming out. Within the Dark Goblin's reach. Oh boy. One more mortar shot is going to be taken, but after that... Oh gosh, Berserker comes down just in time. Valkyrie also comes down just in time, as now I think Larry's starting to get back on track cycle-wise. Can only push an advantage so far, and I think Rocket found that limit. Rocket's still slightly ahead on damage because of that one mortar connection. It's amazing how hard you can be punished for a single mistake in these matches. Semi-Pro is no joke. Alright, Evo Valkyrie coming down for that barrel. Now Larry has to try and break through with a push if he wants to succeed here because of that mortar damage. And here comes another mortar that Larry's going to have to deal with. Alright, lightning, good lightning, takes out that mortar pretty much completely, not before it gets one last shot on that Goblin Cage. Here comes a Berserker, just to take the fire from that Spirit Empress, allowing it to die to the Cannoneer. Finally, another Lava Push comes out. We're going to want to see some sort of Valkyrie. Yep, right there, perfect. And it's also going to draw Mortar Fire once it walks away from the tower a little bit. We need to see maybe a Lightning, maybe some arrows. Looks like we're going with arrows here. Goblin Cage is going to take one last Mortar shot. Goblin does not kill the Mortar as it gets one more shot on that tower at least. Lava Hound on the left does connect. Lightning does come out. Oh no, that's very bad on the right. Very bad on the right. Another oops comes out for Larry as Larry goes down to Rocket. Rocket looking very poised to do the reverse sweep here as this Tina to Hill set is now 2-2. 2-2. Game 3. Shinobi versus Rocket. This ain't... What the heck am I doing? I'm clicking on all the wrong things. This ain't game 3, this is game 5. So now both teams have to think very critically about their deck picks now. Rocket showing a notorious presence in this set so far. Absolutely huge. We are an hour in and we're still on set 2. Good grief. That just goes to show how close this matchup is so far. No spoilers, I have work to do after this. Alright, as Undefined calls a timeout. 5 minutes starting now. Alright. Alright, and it looks like we're taking a 5-minute timeout. So, that means the streamer, too, is going to take a bit of a break here. So yeah, the streamer will take a break, as will all the teams. So I'm going to play another ad here just to allow the pre-rolls to continue to be disabled. Thank you for your understanding. And we will reconvene at 2:57 a.m. Central European Time. Cheers, mate.
light above the tree line. Hold it down and let it be mine. Winter walks forever seeking. When the spring it breaks, the spring it takes the cold. Where fierce storms have fallen, held their place until the morning. Wake with hope forever beating, till I find myself in colors of the dawn.
Alright, and we are back in the match. Alright, cool. We are back in it. And I'm tired of hearing the merge tactics thing, so there we go. Let's snooze the auto ad here, because we just had an ad, we don't need another one. Looks like DJE wants to try and submission ASAF, but ASAF doesn't appear to be online. Not good for Undefined now. In this close of a set. Oh boy. Acknowledged. So in a last cruel twist of fate, ASAF is subbed in. The sub was declared on the lineup, so it is a valid substitution, and the 2-minute timer is reset. As we finally get to see Game 5, the last game of King of the Hill. And we are in. So as a reminder for all the VOD watchers out there, this is the final game of the 3v3 King of the Hill set number 2. We have ASAF now for Undefined at the bottom of your screen, and Rocket for VWG at the top of your screen. ASAF has one last chance to prevent the reverse sweep from Rocket here. Rocket is running the very annoying Boss Bandit Furnace deck that everyone hates. Furnace goes down pretty easily to that Prince charge, and it looks like the Boss Bandit will also go down to the Prince. Prince also goes down himself. ASAF also running Evo Furnace, so as expected, now that Evo Furnace is allowed for use in NSL, it is very popular. Who would have thunk it? Right, here comes, oh boy, Goblin Giant, here we go. We are seeing a variant of the deck. You know the one. Yup, it's a variant of the deck. No damage amplification from the Goblin Curse. Those Fire Spirits cancel out the effect of that curse. Oh my gosh, what a connection on the right-hand side by Asaph. Oh my goodness. That tower is in real danger of going down. It's 407. Rocket somehow saves the tower. But what an advantage for Asaph in this first half of regulation time here. Oh my goodness. Asaph might be able to save the set after all. And here comes that Evo Goblin Giant. Just nerfed, by the way. So we're going to see how that affects it. And here comes a non-Evo Furnace for Asaph and a Evo Furnace for Rocket. It's important to note that Evo Furnace was also recently nerfed, so now it only spawns a Fire Spirit when attacking every 2 seconds or so, where before it spawned a Fire Spirit every single time it attacked. Now it spawns what appears to be every other attack. Ram Rider is going to connect. Minions are going to take it out, but a Goblin Curse, no damage amplification by the way, does a good job of nullifying that counterattack here. As this is still anyone's game going into the end of regulation. 20 seconds remaining in that. All we need to see is Asaph breaking through one more time. They have a great opportunity now with that Evo Furnace coming in. Gonna stop that Boss Bandit. No, it's not. I'm a dirty liar. Goblin Giant, great way to stop that secondary dash from the Boss Bandit. Goblin Curse, everything. But, yep, Asaph connects. And Asaph takes the set. Undefined is on the scoreboard. And that's the end of King of the Hill. Wow. Set 3. Yeah, so I'm doing the best practice of swapping around True Blue and True Red for each set. Just because it makes it more fair, and I believe it's also in the rule book that I wrote. Wow. This is going to be a long match. I'm assuming 2 hours or so, if I had to guess. Oh boy. As we continue to wait. Alright, and it looks like VWG is going to send out Andre as their dueler for this match. Now I'm just counting to 30. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Alright, and Undefined sends out Asaph. Beautiful. Alright, as we just wait for Asaph to get in there. Looks like Undefined is doing some team stuff. in the next set, the 3v3 best one duels, that is the most team-oriented set NSL has ever had, requiring a lot of communication between teammates here. But ignore that for now. We are in a game. Andre for VWG at the bottom of your screen, and ASAP for Undefined at the top of your screen. This is the first game of the CRL-style duel, so no card repeats between games. Best of 3. At this point, no winner of the match can be decided from this set, as we are guaranteed to have a set 4. Which, set 4 is one of my favorite sets we've ever had in NSL, so I'm glad we have that today for you. And it looks like, yep, we're doing the Evo Witch Graveyard deck for Andre. And it looks like ASAP is running the deck. You know, the one. Why we're suddenly seeing this deck in semi-pro? I have no idea. It looks like that Goblin Giant for ASAP getting some hefty damage on that right-hand tower into this first minute. Yep, Evil Furnace again. Why am I not surprised? At least we only have to see it once, this set, per player. Yeah, okay. Evo, regular Furnace Prince Push went into a Goblin Hut to try and stop it. The recently nerfed Furnace is going to have a tough time getting through, and indeed it does not. We have an Evo Witch barreling down the right-hand lane with a Ground Empress to cover. Oh, but that Goblin Curse is going to do a great job getting rid of that Evo Witch. Maybe. Yeah, it does. Okay. And we need to see a response to that Goblin Machine. Skeletons come out to draw some Rocket Fire, take down that machine. Now we have an Evo Goblin Giant, recently nerfed, coming down the right-hand lane. Not going to be as oppressive as it used to be, but still needs some response. Maybe not as much as it did before. Defensive Poison for a -1 trade, but it helps deal with those last couple of spawns from the Goblin Giant. Andre is still down by quite a bit of HP thanks to that initial push connecting. So, very interesting here. Spirit Empress coming down the right-hand lane for Andre. Oh my god, why are you low battery phone? Between games I might have to go run and grab my charger. I hardly know her. Just to make sure my phone don't die on me. 10 seconds left in this match here. Goblin Machine goes down once again. Not before getting a bunch more damage on the right-hand tower for ASAP. As we go into overtime, a big rage push. It's going to prove very oppressive. Good luck defending that. But Andre does pretty well. Evo Furnace is going to be a little oppressive here. Going to not take out the Evo Witch, actually. Evo Witch gets a chance to heal up quite a bit, surviving that Barbarian barrel, doing a little bit more damage to the incoming troops. Andre, at this point, just hanging on for dear life. But Goblin Curse Rage, no damage amplification though, so not as bad. But it looks like that tower is as good as gone. ASAP takes game 1 of duels. Alright, just give me a second, I gotta grab a phone charger here. So that my device doesn't die. It'd be kind of a shame if my device died midstream. stay in, Cord. I'm trying. Here, God, stop it. When the technical is difficulty. At least all this business about me fumbling around with my phone cord would be cut out of a highlights video. I hope. I'm not the one making it. If anyone's making it. Oh boy. Well, as soon as I give the 1 minute warning, here we go. This is game 2 of our 1 versus 1 best of 3 duel set. You have Andre for Vigne Warriors Gaming at the bottom of your screen, and Asaph for Undefined at the top of your screen. So far, this has proved to be a very close matchup throughout by 2 very good teams, both of which have the potential to go all the way to the finals and beyond. And in fact, the winner of this match goes into the Final 4, all of whom are guaranteed not only a chance for prize money through the bronze match, at least, but also an invitation to the next season to bypass any entry requirement and go straight to the playoffs. Pending a format review, of course. So, a lot on the line today. Whoever... It's going to be a devastating loss for whoever unfortunately doesn't make it through. Alright. And it looks like we're getting a pretty good idea of who's playing what this time around. Looks like this time Asaph is playing the Evo Knight. Goblinstein, probably some sort of graveyard deck, maybe? And then Andre, yep, graveyard. And then Andre playing the RG mode deck. It's important to note that in game 1 we didn't see too many of the big important spells going away. So they saved it for game 2, where Fireball is now a viable option, Snowball is being used, starting to see some of the buildings. Both players are very good about saving their better cards for later, so that they aren't locked out of doing set. Alright. Now here comes a jumbo push for Asaph. Expect to see a graveyard at any moment. That Goblinstein Scientist goes down. I know it was about to go ability and cause some major damage, because you heard the electrical buzzing, but it just went down too quickly. Unfortunate. Comes that Evo Cannon trying to stop that Fisherman. Fisherman doesn't die though. Gonna pull that Knight a little forward. Big monk ability reflecting those Cannoneer shots. 2 of them. Another good Goblinstein coming down the left-hand lane now for Asaph. Andre is still slightly in the lead, but that can change at any moment. Rage coming down to boost the graveyard defense, but not before putting Asaph back in the lead. This is going to be neck and neck all throughout overtime, I can already tell. So if Asaph wins this one, we're going to go to set 4 right away. If Andre wins this one, we get one more duel game with the absolute dregs of the deck pool. Here comes that big beefy monk trying to defend as hard as possible. Goblinstein monster does not make it all the way to the tower, so not going to get any real value there. Another Evo Knight coming in for a big Kahuna push now. Fisherman pulls the Ice Wizard up front, not what Asaph wanted. It's a Snowball to push the Wizard forward into the cannon's range. A very good use of Snowball by Asaph here. And the cannon's gonna draw away some of that RG fire. Alright, yeah, but not before... Oh, good Fisherman by Andre. Oh, man. We are now within 2 fireballs as we get to triple blizzard. That Graveyard needs to come out in T- right now if they want any chance here. Very good. Oh my gosh, that was a good fisherman by Andre here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy cowabunga. Melody, do you want to take the reffing back over, or do you want me to finish out for you? Alright, we're in fireball range, and they're going to use the fireball. Andre's going to take it back, and we're going to be 1-1 in the duel set. Oh my word. This matchup has been neck and neck the whole time. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'll finish it. Good call. But whoa, this is the closest NSL match I think I've ever had the pleasure of casting. To the point where we are about 90 minutes into the stream, and we're not even halfway done with the match yet. Dude. Yeah, this match has gone 3 Melody beers, and we're still not even halfway done. That's how close this match is. We're definitely going to hit the 2-hour mark. If we don't hit the 2-hour mark, I'll be very surprised. Undefined used their 5-minute timeout. VWG still has theirs. I'm in awe. Like, there's a lot riding on this match. You don't even understand. Not only are all 4 semifinalists guaranteed a chance at prize money through the bronze match, but also an invite to the next season, entry obligation free, straight to playoffs. This is so close. I'm in awe. ASAF, really taking your time to construct a good deck here. And now I actually have to count to a minute. Here we go. Final game of the duel set. Andre at the bottom of your screen for Vigne Gaming, North America Division and Latin American Division. And ASAF at the top of your screen for Undefined, another North American team. Immediately we are seeing bait for ASAF, Archer Queen something or other for Andre. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be Archer Queen Fireball bait or Archer Queen Minor whatever. I think it's going to be Royal Hogs. We didn't even see him. Or did you? I don't know. Did he come behind me or something? I'm not sure. But also, bro, you're 3 beers in. Chill. Alright, yeah, so... interesting matchup here. I have yet to determine who's in the advantage here. So far, no card repeats. Snowball's already used up, Fireball's used up. 3 beers isn't a lot. Depends on if you're a heavyweight or a lightweight, I guess. Also, I wouldn't know anything about drinking. I'm still too young for that shit. 6 more months, then I'm allowed. I swear, I'm gonna stream drunk one of these days. It's gonna be a hell of a time. I need to get into streaming more. It's a fun hobby. I just don't get to do it often enough because I slack during the work week. Damn, Melody, chill. Full 12-pack alone. Are you good? Anyway, back to business. Huge Evo Skeleton Girl connection for ASAF. Arrows come down a little bit late. Oh boy. Yeah, drinking is never a good vice for depression. I try to avoid drinking alone. Anyway, back to business. So, huge Skeleton Girl connections, twice for ASAP, all requiring these spells to come out just a little bit late. Ghost connection for Andre on the right-hand tower doesn't do much, but it's honest work. Huge negative elixir trade on that Maginite. Big counter push coming down the left-hand lane with that Skeleton King and Mother Witch. Oh my goodness. Bats into Mother Witch. What a play. What a play, I tell you. Luckily, I guess that Ghost kind of took care of it. Here comes a Hog Rider. Berserker. Good Berserker. Good arrows. Neuroscience Major. Ah, that makes sense. Oh my gosh, huge connection on the right-hand side. Not enough elixir to take care of it, and Asaph takes the dual set. Unlock work, please. Okay. I can't spell. Set 4 is going to be 3v3 PO1 duels. 2 minutes for lineups. And this is going to be another one where I have to use my trusty scratch paper to write this stuff down. New science major. Most of us strength on Thursdays and Sundays right after lab because we don't have class Fridays, Mondays. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, I told you we're 90 minutes in and we're only in set 4. That's how ridiculously close every set has been. We've gone to the maximum number of games for every single set. And if I had to guess, I'd say we hit set 5. That's just to show how good both teams are. DKE was so right in telling me that I absolutely had to stream this. You're not the one reffing. Yeah, thank God. You can just listen to my soothing voice as I lull you to sleep. Yeah, if both teams don't send their lineups in time, I guess I'm gonna have to go for the 5-minute technical timeout. And the streamer gets to take another break. It's only 9 p.m. That's a normal bedtime for some people. Oh yeah. Alright, so we have for VWG, we have an UND, Stephen Kotorigan, and Larry, and then for that, and then Subshinobi, sure, yeah. We have Miguel Inferno. And fun. Just write that down real quick. There we go. Shush. Alright, game 1. It's gonna be Stephen versus Miguel. So yeah, this time Undefined will be true blue at the bottom of your screen. I gotta say, sleeping at 9 to 5 is a great time to sleep. I work 9 to 5, I sleep 9 to 5. Everything else, fun. And in my case, I gotta stream more. I don't know what I'm gonna stream. If you have any recommendations for what I should stream more of, let me know. Also, yay, I just hit 250 followers. Yippee! But yeah, for the VOD watchers out there, this is my favorite set in all of NSL history. The 3 versus 3 best of 1 duels. This is what really puts the team in team format. Bestie, you gotta go to your lectures. But yeah, VOD watchers, welcome to the first game of the 3 vs 3 best of 1 duel set. So for the uninitiated, that is 3 best of 1 games between different opponents every time. So like game 1, Steven vs Miguel, game 2, Katori vs Inferno, game 3, Larry vs Fawn. But no card repeats between teammates, so Katori can't use any of the cards that Stephen used, and Larry can't use any of the cards that Stephen and Katori used, for example. So you have Stephen for Undefined at the bottom of your screen, and Miguel for Vigne at the top of your screen. When you can do that, dude. The way I treat school is that anything less than an A is an abject failure. So yes, I hit 97 too. I just so happen to have small enough class sizes that if I don't show up, they will physically find me and drag me to class against my will. And also it's grad school, so I'm gonna have a very small cohort, and they will ask questions if I don't show up. And I also get paid to show up. 300 people? Yeah, that explains a lot. My class size is like 12. Because I'm in grad school is very small class sizes. But also I have a GA ship, and part of it is showing up to class, so if I don't show up, I don't get paid. Yippee! And if I don't get paid, I don't eat. And your boy likes to eat. So, there you go. Anywho, when it comes to the match, Stephen being very liberal with their use of spells, using up our barrel and poison all in one go. Gonna make it a little hard for his opponents to work around that. Looks like they're going for an alternative version of the graveyard deck. You know the one. No Evo Baby Dragon, so good thing they avoided that. GA, what an amazing double. Get this. Luckily I have a GA ship that doesn't involve teaching. Thank goodness, right? It's actually paid for by a fellowship, so all I have to do is show up and go to many conferences. So basically, while I don't have any job responsibilities in their own right, if they tell me to jump, I have to say how high. Why did you bully the TA? He's being paid a starvation wage. Best... Okay. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by college. Why did Automod flag he failed as aggression? Apparently the word failed is too aggressive for Twitch's Automod. Bruh. Alright, you do you, I guess. Meanwhile, we are in overtime, and no significant exchanges have been made, really. It's Graveyard versus Bait. Not a single Graveyard has been played yet, though, which is interesting. But despite that, Stephen is still in a bit of an advantage. Miguel has yet to break through. Here comes that Skeleton King trying desperately to do something for Miguel. And in fact, it kinda does. Closes the gap a little bit, but Stephen is still slightly ahead on damage. Poison does not quite hit the Mother Witch, so that's fully alive and well. That's gonna be a bit of a problem for Stephen going forward that he has to deal with here. Evo Cannon does most of it. Again, ignore that Nightbot message. That's from 2 years ago. And I should really change it to a more modern cause. But either way, oh my goodness gracious me. So much going on. Stephen is still slightly ahead, defending really well. 10 seconds remaining. Get your spells out now while you still can. Oh my goodness. It looks like Stephen is going to pull through. Wow. As Undefined takes the first point in everyone's favorite set. Stephen is the GOAT, for real. Yeah. Game 2. Kotori versus Inferno. Reminder, no card repeats. Kotori, 2 minutes. Alright, we are on timeout. You know what that means? The streamer gets another break! Yippee! Thank you for redeeming Hydrate. I'm gonna go take a hydration break myself as we pop on the timeout screen, and I can go stand up and rest my vocal cords for a whopping 5 whole minutes. We will be back at 3:36 a.m. Central European Time. I am gonna run a quick ad just so that the newcomers I finished it, brud. But yeah, I'm gonna run a quick ad just so that anybody who comes in doesn't have to be exposed to the nightmare that is pre-roll ads, and we will be back at 3:36. So, thank you so much for bearing with us.
Start to come together.
Alright, and we are back, just about, as we go for the last few seconds of our timeout. And also, for the hydration request you made earlier, I have the giant water bottle. And don't worry, I didn't buy water. I got this like once 3 weeks ago, and I've been refilling it with tap water ever since. Because I didn't want to pay for a Hydro Flask, so instead I got a $2 gigantic plastic water bottle. Because microplastics are yummy. Add that to the quote book. So now we are just waiting for Inferno to request a match, and we can get started with Game 2. This is also, by the way, match point for Undefined. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. If Kotori wins this, it's over. We can all go home. An hour and 45 minutes later. If Inferno wins this, we keep going. And now we have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 25, 26, 27, 10, 9, 8, sounds weird. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, that's it. With the most anticlimactic ending possible to such a close game, VWG times out of this game, and Undefined takes it 3-1 on a technicality. Oh my word. Leave it to the closest match I've ever seen in my life to end on such an anticlimactic note. Oh man. But yeah, that'll do it for this match between Vigne and Undefined. Undefined will advance on to the semifinals and will receive an invite straight to the playoffs of NSL Season 12. VWG has unfortunately been eliminated. This was the last VWG team in the season, and now they are out. VWG is now completely out. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's stream. Thank you, VOD watchers, for sitting through this behemoth of a YouTube video. And thank you to any admins who decide to edit it down. And so with that, I am going to call it a stream here, and I will get the VOD over to whoever wants to edit it down. Thank you all so much for coming by, and you have a great rest of your Sunday. I will try to stream more throughout the week, so tune in for that. Drop a follow if you haven't already done so. And let me know your suggestions for streaming content. If you know of any teams or leagues that want another caster, hit me up. I'm always down to cast more matches. A couple years ago, I was called the Rich Slayton of semi-pro, and I'm trying to get back into that role. So yeah, cheers, y'all. Have a good rest of your day.